Well, hello. You know how sometimes they talk about the best laid plans of mice and men? Well, tonight I was going to review a beautiful Matador 811, and it blooped ink almost right away all over the page. It's like, why didn't you do that when you were just full of water, when I was originally cleaning you out? So, my planned review for tonight will not be the Matador 811, but it'll be a pen that I've been meaning to review. This very nice slim black vintage pen, which, that tickles all my buttons. I mean, it's not quite the beautiful Matador, which I'm holding nib up for now till I get a chance to clean it up after I film this, but so be it. Hopefully the Matador, I can figure out what's wrong with it and get it up here next week, but I'm going to save that footage and hopefully use it for a video when I do the Matador. But anyway, so this Senador actually turned out to be pretty fortuitous because it's been drifting around my collection, and how do I just keep pushing it aside thinking, well, I've done so many Senators, and well, I'm glad I finally did it. This is has one of those vintage Bach nibs I like, so let's see how it writes. So this is a Senator of with some dust, and an unknown model. One of those slim black pens that I like, nothing on the finial. It does say Senator here, but one of my problems with Senator has always been they don't, and it has this nice finial, but they don't label many of their vintage models. I think they're better about it now, but, and they got better about it, but for a while there they didn't really label them. So we'll unscrew the cap. It reveals a nice ink window and one of those lovely vintage Bach gold nibs. Since I don't know a name for this pen, I'm going to call it Senator Cummerbund, because it has a belt, and Cummerbund is fancier than belt, and it's a senator, so they're fancy, right? Oh, that was a blind cap. And see, that's how it should work. I got a nice full fill. No problem. This one was due for a review. It just wasn't in the plans for tonight. I've been very excited about that Matador, so I'm really sad how that turned out, but it just means more work is necessary. So I put it in air quotes because that's not really what it's called. For a change, I'm going to use some Parker Quink Washable Blue. A nice reliable ink when you're using a new pen. Of course, you can tell that this nib has, it goes from, I'd call it an extra fine to a double broad. Maybe it could go further if I really wanted to push it, but I'm not into that kind of thing. So, kind of a fun nib. And these are. Wetness and flow. Of course, it is a smaller pen, but as I've said before, I kind of have a thing for those slim black vintage pens. Smear test. I suppose it depends on how wet I write. So that's just normal pressure. And let's hammer it. Yeah, that's pretty wet. Reverse writing, because some people are into that kind of thing. And sometimes these flexi nibs are just fine. Sometimes they're awful. This is scratchy and what I'd call maybe a ultra extra fine. So, not something I would be doing, but maybe if I was an artist, I'd go nuts. And finally, the world famous Pierre Gustafson test. Get a little skipping there. But what's worth noting, it skip, yes, but it refilled right away. So is that a me problem or is that a pen problem? I guess you have to decide. But overall, I think it's a very good writing experience, and I'm very thrilled with it. So, yeah, I'm glad. I'm not glad that tonight's planned review was a fail, but I got to review a pen that's been sitting here and I've been meaning to review, so I guess I win. So that was Senator Cummerbund. As I said, Senators don't seem to have names, except for maybe the newer models. So a lot of times with the vintage models, I'm just going and kind of guessing and making up names. So I'm calling this one Senator Cummerbund. Somebody told me I should do a political series starring fountain pens. I don't know. I've got a lot of senators. So at least we'll have one house in the U.S. Congress covered. But anyway, very happy with it. And of course, I really dig those vintage Bach nibs. And it, just makes me think, why did Bach quit making them? But then I look at them, I say, oh yeah, they are a lot smaller than what people use on their pens now. I think people just expect a bigger nib. And I've wondered if that has something to do with the flex thing, with these really big nibs. Maybe there's a reason they don't want them flexing. I don't know. I haven't found any convincing articles about flex that really talk to me one way or the other. But that was Senator Cummerbund. And yeah, if you're looking for low-cost vintage pens, especially with some quality, Senator is a good one. Especially if you can find a vintage gold Bach nib. Good luck finding a modern gold nib that writes like that. So, yeah, I am sad about how the Matador turned out tonight, but I do have a new friend who will be making more regular appearances on the channel now, so I guess it's not a total loss, but now I'm off to clean the Matador, and I may just sneak some preview footage here of the Matador in at the end, just so you can see what made me mad. So we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Let's see if I can at least get through a writing sample. But, as you can tell, this pen will not be in this week's Pens in Use because it wants to blotch. Unless it quits here. Whoop. So, yeah, the fact that it wouldn't fill the whole way was a sign. Because what a fountain pen is, really, is a controlled leak. So I don't remember it doing this with water, but then I didn't try to write with the water and put any kind of pressure on it. I just say, oh, it's not leaking. Because, yeah, it shouldn't do that when I just dot it on the paper. So, Parker Quink. All right. Abandoning this video.